Curated Electric or Art of Universe? Clone War Part 1, the original Clone War. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to another episode in the original Clone War. Today we're going to be talking about two of the most popular clones for a very, I don't know, would you call it popular? It's gotten a lot more popular. It doesn't necessarily mean that a lot of people like it, but it's none other than Blue Talisman by Ex Nihilo. These are fragrances when they first started in the market that were considered so fudging overpriced. Like nobody was paying for this style fragrance. Stock bottle, very basic, still custom, but still very stock. The boxes in themselves are like foam. They feel like the Legos or the things that you put in like your garage to kind of soften if you fall. You know, help, I can't get up. Don't worry, Ex Nihilo boxes. Anyways, not many people were talking about this one because a lot of their scents had a lot of oud. By the way, one of their oud fragrances, I'll save that for another video, are outstanding. But still, for the price, it's absolutely ridiculous. $350 for this. High quality, yes. But like, where the hell do we draw the line? So this has stemmed off a lot of inspos. This in itself is a very ginger, energetic style of like musky fruits. So it's this cloudy aura, if you will, of pear and then ginger. And that's pretty much it. As it starts to dry down, the musk texture of this one gives it these woody undertones to it. It does smell like a pretty high quality musk and kind of a natural recreation. It's probably all synthetics, nevertheless, it still smells like a pretty high quality musk. And the musk in itself will smell like this aura and cloud of dusted woods with a fuzzy texture. And that's how you know it's like pretty damn high quality. Musk in itself, the origins or use of origins of musk came from deers, and because of obvious reasons and extractions, they would basically have to unalive the deer. It became regulated and you can no longer do that. So how do you quantify a high quality musk? You use synthetics that get the absolute closest to the recreation. And believe it or not, they're still being used in other countries in Europe and in the East where they're still extracting the musks, unfortunately, very cruelly. It is what it is, okay? So moving on, this fragrance in itself kind of smells, in my opinion, like a hybridization between Versace Dylan Purple by women, or for women, meets a little bit of Bois Imperial, Essential Parfums, okay? So you have a realm of like this airy, musky cloud of pear with an undertone of this peppery style of fuzzy woods. That's kind of what I get. But in itself, it deserves its light because of my personal attraction to the fragrance. I love it. I think it smells great, but it does get boring because it's pretty unidimensional. Opens up fresh, musky, clean, and fruity. And now we have Curated Electric, and you probably, you skipped like 40 seconds of the video. I'm sorry, dude. I have to preface it, right? This is a Clone War. And now we have Art of Universe, which launched about a year ago, and Afnan's Curated Electric, which launched about 2 to 3 months ago from watching this video. They did a huge campaign around this fragrance, and they did absolutely nothing around this fragrance except for my video, which basically made this one a hit. And for very good reason. During its launch, it was one of the only ones, aside from one other fragrance, which you will see a little bit of an expansion on in the official Clone War, Taj 2. And my preference was this one, very clearly. But it wasn't necessarily the absolute closest. It was a great twist at the fraction of the price when there was only 2 options. And considering the facts, it also lasted longer than this fragrance, and it had more of an attractive twist. It basically took those fruity nuances and made them even juicier, focused a little less on that musk and fuzzy texture that I personally went like pretty annoyed for at like hour 5, and replaced it with more juicier ambery fruits, okay? So in that sense, I liked it even more, and the longevity was great, but it wasn't necessarily the best clone, and what made it evident was the following fragrance. Afnan's Curated Electric. But this in itself kind of veered off a little bit more as well. And the way that this one veered off was some citruses rather than going in that ambery and more of a melon accord. But this one still stayed relatively true, while its differences still quantifying to, I would say, 20% off. This 20% off still retained a little bit of a closer DNA or scent profile. Well, I guess in that regard, it would be like 15% off than the Lattafa Art of Universe. So in a sense, this one did seem a little bit closer. I will say that. So 15%. The difference is, however, this one being a lot more citruses, less of the juicy vibe, and giving you more of that real musk that you'll find in Blue Talisman. Not necessarily getting any closer than about 85%. This one, although 80%, I still personally enjoyed it a lot. So, main differences between Art of Universe and Ex Nihilo. This one is no closer than about 80% of the DNA, but its differences was its strong suit. Now, whether or not they intentionally twisted the DNA, I have no clue. But its twist Could have been that they just tried their best and it was a really bad attempt, but that in itself was in its favor. A juicier, more melon vibe. Imagine this fragrance encapsulated in a jar of melon. Simple as that. Less musky and juicier. Simple. This one, however, I would say is 80 to 85%. It's definitely closer to the Blue Talisman. However, it's still not the best inspo. But that's okay because this in itself was presented and marketed as something that's more of a twist as well. So the twist of this one, I would personally say, is a lighter DNA. It's not as long lasting, it's not as juicy, and it has a bit more emphasis on the juicy citruses. Sweeter, juicier, lighter, airier, but more citric. Closer. 85, 80 to 85, 80 to 85. Both of these are off. They're not the closest clones whatsoever, but both of these are good. Now, on to longevity. Performance for Art of Universe. This is a fragrance that has never given me less than 8 hours and damn near sticking toe-to-toe with Blue Talisman because Blue Talisman does perform. It's light, it's airy, but this one juicier and it seems to be even a little bit thicker than Blue Talisman. But I will say, the diffusivity of this it projects better. But this one, however, lasts the entire day. So this one, however, Afnan Sarathi Electric, never gave me more than about 6.5 hours. Its projection and performance in terms of its sillage and scent trail was pretty good for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And that's pretty much it. Now down to my opinion in regards to both of these. So with all the subjectives out of the way in terms of the scent profile, I know initially I felt like these were pretty damn close, but different in their own ways. The differences and the variance that this one veers off from the original fragrance is around 20%, and this one is around 20%, but they go in different directions. But no, in all reality, in all honesty, Sarathi Electric is closer. But I enjoy this one more. Art of Universe, in my opinion, is a better and juicier fragrance for me personally. Is it a better clone? I'm telling you right now, no. Okay, but in terms of the performance, in terms of the scent profile, that's what I enjoy more. I enjoy Art of Universe more. If you're in it for a better clone, then you're better off going with Sarathi Electric. Both fragrances are good. They absolutely can be redundant, but in all honesty, like, they will be redundant. This one's just richer, stronger, juicier, and sweeter. And I don't even like what Lattafa is dropping nowadays. I feel like since this fragrance, it's just been straight doo-doo. Straight up. But the honest truth is that I like this one more. The closest? No. Longer lasting? Yes. The better clone? Also no. So it really just depends on what you are looking for in a clone or in a fragrance. Let me know down in the comment section, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the best clone of Ex Nihilo? Or is this enough of a justification for you to cut the cost in terms of how close it gets and pick up the Art of Universe? It's not the official CloneWar winner. If you want to stay in the loop and stay tuned and not miss that video, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the finale. Peace.